You know, sometimes I think to myself, you know, Mike, you're doing good work. Hundreds of people have joined DSA. You have built a great community of supportive activists and leftists who are getting involved. You're teaching thousands of people every day about politics. We're getting major victories in Washington. AOC, Bernie Sanders are two of the most popular politicians in America. They're leading the way to a better future. The left is starting to win in Europe again. The left is starting to win in South America. Perhaps we will get out of the disasters we see ourselves in. And then immediately, Ballgate! Just slam right in your face. No, you're wrong. None of this matters. Everything's stupid. We're all gonna die. Ballgate. Welcome to 2021. Nicki Minaj is debating Hasan Piker on whether or not the vaccine gives you gigantic balls. And then the absolute amazing thing is Glenn Greenwald is now in on the side of Nicki Minaj to call Hasan a liberal gatekeeper. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to put my hands. I thought, Mike, if you just ignore the 20 viewer Andys on twitch.tv, your life will be much better because of their small streamer syndrome toxicity. And now I turn around. You should cover serious news. And then I turn around and the serious news is this. This is the serious news. The moment, the absolute moment that I turn my face toward the real news, it's just, I'm just gonna bring up Hasan's feed instead of opening these individual tweets. Let's just bring up Hasan's feed. Scroll down to the beginning. It all started with this. They want you to get vaccinated for the Met. If I get vaccinated, it won't be for the Met. It'll be once I feel I've done enough research. I'm working on that now. In the meantime, my loves, be safe. Wear the mask with 2 strings that grips your head and face, not that loose one. It all started with this. The world awaits your wonderful contribution to the scientific community. Hasan Piker ratioed Nicki Minaj. And this is what it began. And it went on from there. The fight began. Nicki Minaj is in Twitter jail, and her IG story sounds like the origin story of the Joker, talking about cancel culture and how the mob is similar to Chinese censorship. And this story, you're probably like, Mike, why does this matter? Why are you covering this? I'm sorry, this is politics in 2021. I wish it wasn't, but it is. I can try to pretend like this isn't happening, but it is. It's real and it's important. And this debate is probably more important on COVID-19 than the 85,000 other stories we've done on COVID-19. Because if Nicki Minaj says, don't get the vaccine and do your own research, literally millions of people are not going to get the vaccine. It'll kill thousands. Nicki then posted this because Tucker Carlson has defended Nicki Minaj. All right, we should get somebody else who's like more analysis in this. Okay, thank you, Samuel Cedar. We're getting all the big hitters in right now. Samuel Cedar.
I'm not the reporter that Tucker Carlson is, because I failed to cover the other day the story about Nicki Minaj's cousin's friend.
Yes.
So if you missed that story on this program, I will defer to Tucker Carlson, who reported on it. Oh, yeah, let's hear him reading the tweet. Sorry, is that what that was? Okay.
He added this. She said that her cousin in Trinidad, quote, won't get the vaccine because his friend got it and became impotent. His testicles became swollen. His friend was weeks away from getting married. Now that girl called off the wedding. So just pray on it and make sure you're comfortable with your decision, not bullied. Which seems sensible. To this. We'll report on that tomorrow.
Okay, so there it is. There's the report. Now, a lot of people have speculated, and it's completely speculation, that the guy, the cousin of his friend, the friend's cousin, cheated on his fiancée, contracted an STD,
and then said it was the vaccine.
But
Nicki Minaj is taking it at face value because for some reason the Met Gala is in the news a lot, and that was her excuse. That's why she couldn't go to the Met Gala, because they had a vaccine requirement, and she had the very, ironclad sourcing of her cousin's friend's big balls.
And now, and then...
Okay, they weren't big, Emma. They were swollen, okay? It was a medical condition. It's not like he was born with 2 coconuts, okay? He got syphilis or something and his balls swole up. Not having big balls. It's like if I get punched in the face and my eye swells up, I don't have a big eye. I have a swollen eye. It's important that you keep it accurate in your reporting. Fact-checking supposed journalist.
This is should we do number 10 first to show that he did the up, and then we'll do the number 11, right? Okay, so this is the sequence. So, he said we're going to report more on this tomorrow, and then tomorrow was Tuesday, right? This is let's play this clip.
We haven't been able to figure out whether this show is broadcast in Trinidad, but if Nicki Minaj's cousin's friend is watching, or his former fiance is watching, we want to hear your story. We'll come to Port of Spain to see you. Let us know.
There it is. They will travel to Port of Spain to see them, to examine presumably the testicle size and the catalyst.
Wasn't he telling other people to do do reporting for him about he's being spied on scandal from earlier this summer? But now we can send people to Trinidad.
Well, it's all about just when and where Fox can allocate the resources for the story that they feel is most important.
Get our balls guy to go down to the
crew. Get the sequencing wrong? Okay, well then it's
not a big deal.
Okay, well, just to be clear, before he said he was going to seek out the cousin's friend or the cousin, he realized that he had made a mistake. It wasn't the cousin, it was the cousin's friend. So here is his correction. We owe it to him to play his correction too.
Yes.
Nicki Minaj. She entered the conversation abruptly with this tweet yesterday, quote, "My cousin in Trinidad won't get the vaccine because his friend got it and became impotent," she wrote.
This is news now. This is politics now. If you had Tucker Carlson talking about Nicki Minaj's cousin's friend's swollen balls as the political story of the month of September on your bingo card, you win. You get the bingo. I can't have you facepalm so long. My Wi-Fi in my new office is shoddy at best, and I keep thinking you're buffering. Oh. I think it's worth keeping in mind that Nicki also probably dug into his controversy to deflect from her husband's not registering as a sex offender news story. All right, let's keep going.
His testicles became swollen. His friend was weeks away from getting married. Now the girl called off the wedding. So just pray on it and make sure you're comfortable with your decision, not bullied. Now, 2 things about that tweet.
Okay. If you tell someone, I know somebody who knows somebody whose balls swelled up and it ruined his life, pray on it, you're telling them not to get the vaccine. Nobody's going to hear that and go, oh, okay, I guess I could just have my reproductive system destroyed. Might as well get the vaccine. You're telling them not to get it. You are not saying, well, I'm just providing information. I think a lot of people say a lot of dumb shit all the time, and they don't know they're dumb as f. Like, a lot of you talk about shit you don't know anything about all the fucking time. Not just you in particular, Chad. I'm not trying to bully you in particular. But a lot of people do. And they just say dumbass shit. And then all of a sudden, some of those people became world famous performers and artists. And they keep saying the dumbass shit they did when no one cared who they were. Well, when you become a big celebrity, you have a new obligation to actually think about the dumbass shit you say. You're not just a random that nobody cares about anymore. You're now an inexplicably listened to on all sorts of topics. So when you talk about things you don't know anything about, you should probably be a little bit more careful. She played it off as she was just asking questions, that she's being attacked by the mob, and she's not allowed to say anything anymore again as a black woman, as her IG story. So the thing is, it's not about that. You can't, you can. You post stuff like this. You can post dumb stuff like this. But when you post dumb stuff like this, everybody's going to come after you. 600,000 plus people have died confirmed from COVID. And we have a vaccine with no major serious long-term side effects that gives you much enhanced protection against the disease. It's basically a miracle how fast it was developed and medically studied to be safe. And you post stuff like this. People, when you say stuff like it's gonna destroy your balls, guys are not gonna get the vaccine if Nicki Minaj says the vaccine destroys your balls. This is the perfect kind of stupid story that hurts people. And Tucker Carlson knows better than this. Tucker Carlson knows that. So why is he spreading the story? Because he's trying to kill people.
5 months radicalized. Love the
He's
show.
trying to kill people. Tucker Carlson should be arrested for murder right now. Nicki Minaj is not a journalist or doesn't have any journalist. She's not on a news network. She made a dumb comment, but she's not a trained person. Tucker Carlson knows better. Tucker Carlson is a murderer. By the way, Tucker Carlson is vaccinated. How do I know? Because he's never said he isn't. Tucker Carlson is vaccinated like all the rest of the Fox News personalities are vaccinated. Why? Because they never say they're not.
Weeks away from getting married, now the girl called off the wedding. So just pray on it and make sure you're comfortable with your decision, not bullied. Now, 2 things about that tweet. Last night we read it, we put the graphic on the screen, and we suggested that Nicki Minaj's cousin is the one with the swollen testicles in Trinidad. And we were wrong, and we want to admit it. We henceforth correct the record. Nicki Minaj's cousin's testicles are not swollen. As far as we know, he's fine. It's Nicki Minaj's cousin's friend's testicles who are swollen from taking the vax. That's the claim. But it's not anything to do with the physical effect of the vaccine that makes our political class mad. It's the last part of Nicki Minaj's tweet that enrages them. The part where she says you should pray on it, make the decision yourself like a free human being, and, quote, don't be bullied. So our media and public health officials didn't like this because they make their livings bullying.
They didn't like it because she posted a totally fake story about testicle damage. And it's not even someone she knows personally. It's a friend of a cousin. You could have your friend or your cousin say literally any dumb crap. We don't like it because if you get the idea, well, I heard Nicki Minaj. Did you? Because you screwed it up, Tucker. You said it was her cousin. You on Fox News couldn't even get the story right when you were retelling it. And you have a producer crew. You have a graphics designer guy. You have all sorts of people around you, show writers, and you guys screwed it up. That's why we don't like it. We don't like people hearing, well, did you hear about how it could make your testicles swell? Because that's what happens when you play the game of telephone, you moron. It'd be one thing if Nicki Minaj just said, pray on getting the vaccine and don't allow people to influence you, which, by the way, is her influencing people. If you tell someone, hey, don't let someone bully you into getting the vaccine, you're working for them not to get the vaccine. You're not allowing them to make their own independent choice. You're influencing them to, quote, stay strong. That's a persuasion attempt. That's a bully attempt. This is another thing Republicans and right-wingers like to do. Do persuasion and pretend that they're not.
People. So they couldn't let it stay.
I mean,
good on him for issuing his first and only ever correction, right? You know, it has to be for a story of this magnitude that Tucker Carlson is going to be honest. I mean, he tries not to lie. He tries not to lie.
To be fair, they did say they would go to Trinidad to find out the exact magnitude of the story.
Yes.
Of the story.
I'm sorry, of the story. Right.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Right.
Yes.
Right. You mean the exact magnitude?
The magnitude of the story.
Right.
The magnitude of the story.
Is it magnitude?
I never thought I was going to see the day where Sam Cedar and Emma were pretending to cup massive balls. That's what they're cupping right now. Giant imaginary swollen balls.
or magnitude?
Look at her face.
That's magatude.
This is a blue show today.
We have the Trinidad and Tobago health minister who has decided to weigh in on this.
Okay, let's hear that.
One of the reasons we could not respond yesterday in real time to Ms. Minaj is that we had to check and make sure that what she was claiming was either true or false. And unfortunately, we wasted so much time yesterday running down this false claim. It is, as far as we know, at this point in time, there has been no such reported either side effect or adverse event. And what
I want to show you something, Chad. I think that Tucker Carlson should be imprisoned for murder. And because he ran with this story multiple days in a row and did not even attempt one iota to dispel the claim that was being made in the original tweet. That's misinformation and negligence to such a degree during a pandemic that he should be in prison for that. In my society, we would be putting him in the prison. Yeah, we have prisons in my ideal society. What about it? And what? Because people like Tucker Carlson need to be controlled. I'm just kidding. Okay, I'm kidding. In the perfect Mike society, there's no prison. Everybody's eating unicorn rainbow salads. Okay? There's no meat. We live kumbaya side to side. Everyone tells the truth all the time. There's no more lies. And we all join our hands in harmony. Okay? That's my perfect ideal society. Anyway, going back to the real world. So, in the transition to my perfect society, he'd be in prison. Listen, we're working for my ideal society. It's going to happen one day. But in the transition period, gulag! No, in all seriousness, Tucker Carlson should be liable. If not like prison, which I'm doing is hyperbole. When I say he should go to prison, that's hyperbole. He should be liable. Like, the families of people that die of COVID should be able to sue Tucker Carlson. And be like, he spread vaccine misinformation, and he should pay. He should bankrupt Fox News. Something needs to happen, because we can't live like this, man. Human technology and the interconnectedness of our society is increasing more and more and more. And the threat from like people doing dumb stuff is increasing every year as that interconnectivity grows, as our world gets smaller. And we're approaching some very dangerous technologies. You know, maybe they won't ever happen. Maybe we won't ever have AI. Maybe we won't ever have nanotechnology. But there's some dangerous ass technology that we could conceive of out there. We already have nuclear weapons. We already have the carbon crisis. We already have this pandemic. The stupidity of a small group of people is becoming more and more dangerous every day. What about freedom of speech, though? It's the First Amendment. Are people too dumb that they need more control? It's not... I don't have a problem with people saying what they want to say. I do have a problem with massively amplifying it to everybody's face. I have a problem with spreading lies that are damaging to everyone. That wasn't possible when they wrote the First Amendment. Now it is. Every moron can tweet something and the algorithm pick it up and it be in front of millions before anybody has the ability to react. Mike, I've been thinking about the same thing for months. How come Congress sat down with Zuckerberg and Jack Dorsey about misinformation on their sites, but they won't do it with Fox News? Because Fox News is misinformation put out by the elite. Fox News is misinformation put out by your corporate masters. That's why. And they get to put out lies if it benefits them. Normies putting out lies, that's a problem. Elites putting out lies, well, that's just doing business. Nicki Minaj is smart. Everyone is giving her way more press with a couple inflammatory tweets that she would have ever gotten by actually performing at the VMAs or attending the Met Gala. She knows what she's doing and she's milking it. It's easier than a performance and it's easier than attending her gala. Our news cycle is... I can tell you right now that if you think all publicity is good publicity, you are dead wrong. That's what people say who have never had any publicity or clout. Negative attention is negative attention. It does not help you. And when it does help, it's a very specific type of negative attention. that this is not it. This is not it. She's smart because no one is currently talking about her rapist husband, so this is indeed good press for her. I mean, like the whole, any publicity is good publicity. That's cope. It's not true. When you get positive energy towards you, it's very good. When you get negative energy towards you, it's very bad. Also, the First Amendment doesn't protect all speech. Don't distract me with the fire in a crowded theater thing, because that's wrong. Hey, chatter, it's one thing to say something stupid and harmless. It's another thing to shout fire at a crowded building. Your freedom of speech ends when it infringes on the rights and well-being of others. What Nicki and Tucker are doing here is the equivalent of shouting fire at a crowded theater when there is no fire. I would say that Nicki is more forgivable, although it's incredibly stupid, and she should get all the blowback possible. But what Tucker Carlson is doing is actively arson. Tucker is doing arson right now. Nicki said a dumb thing, and people say dumb things all the time, including me. Everybody does. And we shouldn't come down on someone with a ton of bricks because they have some stupid thought and they tweet it. However, Tucker Carlson needs to be severely punished because he's a knowing liar, an arsonist. It's the classic duper and the duped, exactly. We need to figure out something to do with Fox News. And for the longest time in our country, we had what was known as the fairness doctrine. Let me finish this story, then we'll talk about that.
What's sad about this is that it wasted our time yesterday trying to track down, because we take all these claims seriously, whether it's on social media or mainstream media. As we stand now, there is absolutely no reported such side effect or adverse event of testicular swelling in Trinidad, or I dare say,
What a bully.
none that we know of anywhere else in the world.
What a bully.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. So,
Obviously bought off by Big Pharma. We know.
That guy makes his live on being a bully.
this is what's his title? Chief Swollen Testicle Ignorer?
The art curator of the Met Gala.
Exactly. I hope.
That's Gary.
I hope that in no way Tucker Carlson is dissuaded from reporting further on this story. Run down the question of the testicles. Do you see how, like, on day 2 of the story, when he realizes, like, okay, I got away, I have squeezed everything I want out of those large testicles in terms of its media value.
Ouch.
Now I'm just going to move on to the fact is that they're really pissed about the fact that she says pray and don't be bullied into this public health requirement, or, you know, strong suggestion.
Well, I mean, Tucker was also really excited that Nicki Minaj called Joanne Reed a slur, so that he got a little bit more enjoyment out of that.
Oh,
There you go.
new BFF.
Let's talk about the fairness doctrine. Prior to the Reagan administration, there was something known as the fairness doctrine. Now, there are pros and cons to it, for sure. But the larger idea was that you couldn't just say whatever the wanted if you were a broadcaster. And it basically held the fairness doctrine, a specific manifestation of the personal attack and political editorial rules do not violate the First Amendment. The First Amendment is relevant to public broadcasting, but it is the right of the viewing and listening public and not the right of the broadcasters, which is paramount. The First Amendment does not protect private censorship by broadcasters who are licensed by the government to use scarce resources, which is denied by others. The danger that licensees will eliminate coverage of controversial issues as a result of a personal attack and political editorial rules is best speculative. In any event, the FCC has the authority to guard against this danger. So what is basically the fairness doctrine, requiring that public issues be presented by broadcasters and that each side of those issues be given fair coverage. And so organizations like Fox News could not exist. Organizations like Fox News could not exist. The rule issued in 1949 underscored the principle that in democracy, citizens need access to a diversity of perspectives and that the agending power of broadcasters can be abused. As the Supreme Court ruled in 1969, it is the purpose of the First Amendment to preserve an uninhibited marketplace of ideas in which truth will ultimately prevail rather than the countenance monopolization of that market. whether it be by government or private licensee. So here's the thing. When we say marketplace of ideas, it's actually not true. We don't have a marketplace of ideas. We have some guy named Rupert Murdoch with a gigantic megaphone blasting Tucker Carlson propaganda at everyone and twisting the minds of your parents and grandparents and every boomer. And this changed when the Reagan administration in 1987 said, nope, you could just do right-wing radio. You could do propaganda. And now we have this.
Oh, he's fine. It's Nicki Minaj's cousin's friend's testicles who are swollen from taking the vax. That's the claim. But it's not anything to do with the physical effect of the vaccine that makes our political class mad. It's the last part of Nicki Minaj's tweet that enrages them. The part where she says you should pray on it, make the decision yourself like a free human being, and, quote, don't be bullied.
No. Well, first of all, let me just say this. If you put negative information and then say, make your own mind up, you are not saying, you're not actually, it's bad faith. It's garbage. Like, for example, if I present to you, hey, did you know that COVID-19 causes erectile dysfunction and hair loss? That COVID-19 can cause erectile dysfunction? See, this has actual medical evidence behind it. You know, there's actual evidence that COVID-19 might break your dick. And then I said, but make your own mind up about getting the vaccine. Just know that if you catch COVID-19 without the vaccine, it will cause your dick to break. Anyway, make up your own mind. It's pretty obvious that I'm telling you to get the vaccine. And when you... So that story, see, the difference between me and Nicki is this actually has evidence for it. And hers doesn't. Researchers are piecing together that surviving COVID-19 might be associated with erectile dysfunction. Another cause of concern regarding the research is the potential testicular damage that occur following an infection with COVID-19. You don't know, Nicki. Maybe she saw her cousin's balls. It's not her cousin's balls. It's her cousin's friend's balls. All right. So this is reality. This is the reality we're in. Then, so Tucker Carlson has launched into this nonstop defense. And then people started going, what are you doing? So this is the thing. This is the biggest story. This was on every network. The Nicki Minaj cousin's friend's balls story.
And people like Nicki Minaj, I have to say this. You have a platform, sister, that is 22 million followers. Okay, I have 2 million followers. You have 22 million followers on Twitter. For you to use your platform to encourage our community to not protect themselves and save their lives, my God, sister, you could do better than that. You got that platform. It's a blessing. It's a blessing that you got that people listen to you. And they listen to you more than they listen to me. For you to use your platform to put people in the position of dying from a disease they don't have to die from, oh, my God. As a fan, as a hip-hop fan, as somebody who was your fan, I'm so sad that you did that. So sad that you did that, sister. Oh, my God. And people like Nicki Minaj, I have to say that.
And the thing that's ridiculous is two white men sitting there nodding their heads because this... Are you kidding me? How fragile is Nicki Minaj? How fragile? She played with kid gloves. It was kid gloves. She said, please, you have a bigger platform than me. They listen to you. Do better. Protect our community. What the? She didn't call her stupid. She didn't insult her. And she calls her a slur. And then she went into that. She pulled a EGG. She went and did a whole, like, let me find all the scandals that Joy-Ann Reid is in. Holy shit. And she just comes out with the slurs, man. My God. Dude. And so now Hasan gets in and starts to say, hey, Nicki Minaj, Tucker Carlson is a white supremacist. You're putting out a white supremacist. You're elevating a white supremacist because he's defending your dumb tweet. You're allowed to delete a tweet. You're allowed to say, hey, I looked into the story. It was silly. It turned out my cousin's friend lied. He cheated on his fiance. I'm really embarrassed. That's a funny story. Anyway, get the vaccine. You're allowed to do that. You don't have to double down on something that's stupid. Why? Why? He said white nationalist, not surprised. Okay, fair. White nationalist, excuse me. Okay, from a white lady point of view, this is not our business, though. What? Everybody who dies of COVID is our business. A guy in Trinidad cheats on his fiancée and gets an STD. Nicki Minaj defends Tucker Carlson to Hasan Piker. You never know what can happen. Why? Why is this real? Why? No, not that part. The beef with her and the news lady. Dude, I'm just baffled why she's acting that way. I'm sorry. It's newsworthy. Sorry. It's newsworthy, whether you like it or not. I should have heard that argument a lot. Hasan shouldn't get in black people's business. Okay. White people, I'm gonna need you to stop. White people, I'm gonna need you to stop. White liberals, I need you to stop. Black people could be wrong about things, okay? Individual black people could get things wrong, and we can criticize them when they get them wrong. Especially when they're extremely rich celebrities. Okay, white people, calm down. We're not doing a racism because we make fun of Nicki Minaj for an incredibly stupid tweet. White people, please stop. You are embarrassing. And you are exactly the type of... and I'm sorry, the idea that we should not criticize Nicki Minaj for anti-vaccine sentiment because she's black is dumb. That's rad lib bullshit. Get out of my face. The unnamed friend of Nicki Minaj's cousin has surely become one of the most famous men in the world, with Nicki Minaj's anecdote about his swollen testes having spread well beyond Twitter. Now having received a formal response from the governments of the UK and Trinidad and Tobago, and even prompted an invitation for Minaj to speak to a White House doctor. We really about to get a statement of that the President of the United States of America signed off on that addressing Nicki Minaj's cousin's friend's swollen balls. Because it's important. Because they know that you can't have someone this famous and prominent saying dumbass shit like this. People believe them. A source tells CNN that Nicki Minaj was offered a conversation with a doctor to clarify the efficacy and side effects of the vaccine, not a visit to the White House. A White House statement is coming shortly. Okay, so let me get this straight. Conservatives say that we are sheep because we supposedly listen to famous celebrities, and then now it's okay for them to uplift Nicki's post. Oh, Amy K. Blue, are the conservatives being hypocrites? Are conservatives being hypocrites? Well, shock of shocks! Conservatives are being hypocritical! Whoa! Ballgate. Okay. You know, sometimes I think to myself, you know, Mike, you're doing good work. Hundreds of people have joined DSA. You have built a great community of supportive activists and leftists who are getting involved. You're teaching thousands of people every day about politics. We're getting major victories in Washington. AOC, Bernie Sanders are two of the most popular politicians in America. They're leading the way to a better future. The left is starting to win in Europe again. The left is starting to win in South America. Perhaps we will get out of the disasters we see ourselves in. And then immediately, Ballgate! Just slam right in your face. No, you're wrong. None of this matters. Everything's stupid. We're all gonna die. Ballgate. Ballgate has transcended into far more than a silly meme, as right-wing culture warriors leapt at the opportunity to question the safety of the coronavirus vaccine. Tucker Carlson of Fox News has thus far been a staunch defender of Minaj, even making a public plea to the unnamed man with the swollen testicles to contact Fox News and share his side of the story. Here's the full 3-minute protest in Atlanta. I need this.
Nicki Minaj said, I'm not born. Nicki Minaj said, I'm not born. That protest happening today in front of the CDC, the group speaking out against Dr. Anthony Fauci and the COVID-19 vaccine, all because of rapper Nicki Minaj. This all comes from some tweets that she posted on Twitter, one of them on your screen now.
In it, she claims you had to be vaccinated to attend the Met Gala on Sunday, but she won't get the shot until she's done enough research. CBS 46's Tori Cooper explains how the CDC is responding to the artist.
Right now, I'm standing right between security guards and protesters crossing.
All right, so the CDC headquarters is in Atlanta, if you don't know that. It's Atlanta, Georgia, because if you didn't know this, in America, we used to have a lot of malaria and yellow fever. And then Big Daddy government under FDR and later Truman solved malaria and yellow fever in America with government programs. Yeah, I know. The South would be full of malaria and yellow fever like a shithole that it is. But we stupidly started the CDC to save millions of Southern lives. And that's why it's headquartered down there in Atlanta, because there was so many diseases in the South before Big Daddy federal government fixed it. Now they're protesting.
In the street right now, who say they felt called to come out here following Nicki Minaj's tweets on Twitter. They say that she has allowed them to feel that they can question the effectiveness about the vaccine, and she's not sharing misinformation. However, experts I spoke to say they beg to differ. Go ahead, what brings you here?
We are here because CDC has been lying to us for so long.
Nicki Minaj fans in Atlanta say they trust her medical advice about the COVID-19 vaccine.
Nicki, the queen of rap, stood up. Nicki, multiple platinum plaques, stood up and said, I'm questioning this vaccine. And we should all question this vaccine.
Fans even showed up to the Center for Disease Control headquarters on Wednesday in Durant Hills to show support for the platinum rapper's latest tweets. She claimed her cousin's friend in Trinidad had a bad reaction to the vaccine, and his private part even swelled up. So CBS 46 went to fact
his private part even swelled up.
Check those claims first in that country.
And unfortunately, we wasted so much time yesterday running down this false claim.
Then we went straight to the CDC itself.
We know that COVID vaccines are safe and effective, and they don't affect men or women's fertility.
The rapper's tweets come while vaccination rates in Georgia remain under 50%.
Fauci lied to me! Fauci lied to me! Nicki told the truth to me!
The CDC didn't mince words, saying follow your doctor's advice, and with a reach of more than 22 million followers.
We're in hell! We are in hell. Fauci lied to me. Nicki told the truth to me. I never thought psychic damage was real. I thought it was like an RPG thing, but I think it happened. I think that there are ideas so stupid that when they enter your brain, it's like code in a computer that causes it to short circuit. I think that it's real. Yeah, I think it's real. I think it's real. And I think we've all been damaged. I'm sorry.
Celebrities like Nicki have a responsibility to the public.
Throughout this pandemic, we have urged platforms small and big to take care in what they are conveying around COVID-19 vaccines, because we know that information can be impactful on people's behavior.
But the rapper also tweeted she will, quote, sure be getting vaccinated because she has to go on tour, end quote.
That information can be impactful on people's behavior.
But the rapper...
The vaccine works! Mandates work! Mandates work! I don't care if you have dumbass thoughts about vaccines, as long as you comply. I don't need you to know why you're getting the vaccine. I just need you to get the vaccine. There, I said it. If you had the ability to read and comprehend argument, you would have already gotten it. If you haven't gotten the vaccine yet, and it's not because of a bona fide medical reason, you're not bright. Okay? I hate to be the one to inform you of this, but if you don't have the vaccine yet, you're not very bright. You're kind of dumb. You're kind of a fool. It's okay. And I think presenting arguments to you is a waste of time. It's like debating with Romeo. Okay? That's an insult to Romeo. What the Good point. Romeo's smart. Romeo, good boy. I should have thrown Romeo under the bus. He just, he doesn't speak English. Romeo has all his vaccines. True. Romeo has all his vaccines. Romeo's got his rabies. Romeo's tagged up. Did you know that there's a vaccine mandate for your dog?
Also tweeted, she will, quote, sure be getting vaccinated because she has to go on tour, end quote. Did you see this tweet or not?
I've seen all of Nicki's tweets.
We are advocating that people take advice from trusted healthcare professionals. And so if somebody doesn't have that background, no, we don't recommend listening to them.
Protesters that have been out here are saying they want the files from the CDC. They're holding signs that say Black Hammer stands with Nicki Minaj. It's clear where they stand tonight. We'll continue to follow any new developments.
So if you don't know this, chat, Black Hammer is a weird cult. They're a weird cult. This is just trying to get more people to go to their weird cult. That's all.
Outside here at the CDC. Reporting indicator, I'm Tori Cooper, CBS 46 News.
And you can see more of that story on our website at cbs46.com now.
We haven't even barely got into the Hasan part. Minaj, after having noticed that Carlson was on her side, shared a clip of Carlson speculating that the negative response to Minaj's tweet was motivated by a desire to bully the vaccine hesitant rather than the tweet's potential for spreading misinformation. Hey, guess what? We need more bullying of the vaccine hesitant. We need more bullying. Popular political commentator on Twitch and Twitch streamer Hasan Piker responded by tweeting, you know he's a white nationalist, right? Minaj responded defensively. Right. I can't speak to, agree with, even look at someone from a particular political party. People aren't human anymore. If you're black and a Democrat tells you to shove marbles up your ass, you simply have to. If another party tells you to look out for a bus, stand there and get hit. Tucker Carlson is not only vaccinated, but doesn't like black and brown immigrants coming into the country. This isn't about parties. There are plenty of racist Democrats too. Honestly, I don't think this response is that great. The response should be, he's telling you to stand in front of the bus and get COVID. He's a hypocrite who has the vaccine already. And he's spreading misinformation for profit. Don't be a dupe. He had a much better response, and the idiot chatters thought he was being racist. Yeah, I know that feeling. I know that feeling. What's the clip here's the clip what's the clip he
Because
posted?
This is one of about 10 stories that I know you've covered, where the government shows preference to people who have shown absolute contempt for our customs, our laws, our system itself, and they're being treated better than American citizens. Now, I know that the left and all the little gatekeepers on Twitter become literally hysterical if you use the term replacement, if you suggest that the Democratic Party is trying to replace the current electorate, the voters now casting ballots.
Okay, so this guy right here is an immigrant. This guy right here is a immigrant. And he wrote this incredibly cringe book, America Alone. The End of the World as We Know It. He's literally a white replacement specialist, but he's a fucking immigrant. And of course, guess what? What country is he from, chat? Right? What country is he from? I think we need to ban Canadian political commentators until we can figure out what the going on. The arrogance of Mark Stein knows no bounds. Saudi ambassador to the United States. Stein says that the fall of the Western world is caused by three factors: demographic decline, unsustainability of the advanced Western social democratic state, and exhaustion of civilization. Every single one of these arguments is totally batshit. Stein says that white people are too self-absorbed to breed, while the Muslim population is increasing rapidly. The 20 million European Muslims in 2006 will have increased over 150 million by 2015. Oh, that's a question. How many European Muslims are there? 44 million. I guess he was off a little bit. I guess he was off by a little bit. As a result, there will be large-scale evacuation operations circa 2015. Europe will cede to Al-Qaeda, and Greater France will remorselessly evolve into Greater Bosnia. What? Canada! Canada, what are you doing? Good prediction, by the way. So this Mark Stein is literally the white replacement theorist who got things incredibly wrong. Just pathetically wrong. Pathetically wrong. Just a total loser. Stein wrote that in the 2000s, the population of the developed world had declined from about 30% of the world population to around 20%, while the population of Muslim nations increased from 15% to 20%. He argued that the advanced Western social democratic state was unsustainable based on his observation that the responsibilities of normal adults, such as care of the elderly, childcare, healthcare, and insurance, have been slowly taken over by the state. Stein argues that these programs erode humanity's basic sense of self-reliance to a point at which a more resilient group of people, Muslims in his view, will take control. He argues European nations have been given up defending themselves and rely on America for their defense. America will be the last and only countries, as all others will be taken over by Muslims. Just absolute batshit. Totally wrong about everything. Overestimated the growth of the population of Muslims in Europe by 107 million. Anyway, we got distracted. I'm sorry. It's funny because he was talking about white replacement and immigrants while he's talking to a fucking immigrant.
It's with new people, more obedient voters from the third world. But they become hysterical because that's what's happening, actually. Let's just say it. That's true.
Okay, so the theory is this. Listen to the contradiction of the white replacement theory. The white replacement theory is that Muslims are going to take over the world because Islam is more confident. Also, what a cuck. What a cuck. His idea is that, first of all, Muslims are a monolith, which is just stupid and wrong, of course. And secondly, that Muslims are more confident than Europeans and Americans, so the West will fall, right? But when they move here, they're going to vote for all the lefties who love the transgenderism and the gays? Which is it, Mark? Which is it, Tucker? It's completely contradictory. Either the Muslim conservatism is going to take over, or they're going to come here and vote for the left. It's a complete contradiction, and its stupidity is manifest. But Mike, they're only immigrants if they aren't white. That's true. If you're white, you're an expat. You could only be an immigrant if you're black or brown. I'm sorry. If you're white, you're an expat. Excuse me. Thanks for gifting a sub to Cousin's Friend's Swollen Balls. Good job. You made it. Good job.
True. If this was happening in your house, if you were in 6th grade, for example, and without telling you, your parents adopted a bunch of new siblings and gave them brand new bikes and let them stay up later and help them with their homework and gave them twice the allowance that they gave you.
My God, even their analogies are infantile and stupid.
You would say to your siblings, I think we're being...
that's something that's true. Immigrants get more from a society than its native born. Yeah, that's true. That's totally true. You have to be so stupid to even listen to these arguments for 5 minutes without your ear leaking out of your brain. Like your brain, leaking out of your ear. You have to be dumb as hell. Deadass, my undocumented parents would be conservative but pro bigger government projects like Medicare for all.
Replaced by kids that our parents love more. And it would be kind of hard to argue against you because look at the evidence.
Immigrants come into a country as adults and then work. Native-born people have to spend at least 18 years as children and wards of the state and of their parents and of society at large. A society literally invests hundreds of thousands of dollars in every child that's born there. If someone comes here as an immigrant, the society is already gained because they didn't have to raise the kid to an adulthood. It could just put them to work. Having immigrants makes your society wealthier because people are productive at working age when they come here. Children are resource sucks. This is very basic and obvious if you think about it for 5 minutes.
So this matters on a bunch of different levels, but on the most basic level, it's a voting rights question. In a democracy, one person equals one vote. If you change the population, you dilute the political power of the people who live there. So every time they import
if an immigrant lives here, they're one of the people that live here. If someone moves to a country and wants to make it their own, it becomes their country. Sort of like Mark Stein, the immigrant you're talking to. We need to build a wall on our northern border. We need to build a wall on our northern border.
New voter, I become disenfranchised as a current voter. So I don't understand why we don't understand this. I mean, everyone wants to make a racial issue out of it. Ooh, the white replacement theory. No. This is a voting rights question. I have less political power because they're importing a brand new electorate. Why should I sit?
That's the same argument. Hey, woman, you're having a child. You're diluting my voting power. Tucker, you are the dumbest. You're so stupid. Please. And by the way, chat, recent immigrants can't vote. It takes a decade to get your citizenship in this country. The fastest you can get your citizenship is if you're married to an American citizen, and it still takes 5 to 7 years.
Back and take that. The power that I have as an American guaranteed at birth is one man, one vote, and they're diluting it. No, they're not allowed to do that. Why are we putting up?
By the way, conservatives want to get rid of birthright citizenship. That was one of the things that Donald Trump was trying to get rid of, was birthright citizenship. You goddamn, they lie so much. It's so ridiculous.
Put this.
Piker went on to support his claim by posting a clip of Carlson enthusiastically discussing the racist Great Replacement conspiracy theory, a scandal that led to the Anti-Defamation League calling for Fox News to fire Carlson. Piker also claimed that Carlson reported, despite his repeated vaccine skepticism, is himself safely vaccinated. Reportedly, more than 90% of Fox Corporation's full-time employees have been vaccinated, with unvaccinated employees required to do daily testing. Notably, Carlson gave an odd, deeply defensive response when asked by reporter Charlotte Alter if he had received the vaccine, calling it a super vulgar personal question, comparing it to an invasive inquiry about his sex life. He had the same response when questioned by Ben Smith of the New York Times. And Minaj did not respond to Piker's points and spent the next few hours retweeting supportive tweets, arguing with critics, and seemingly downplaying Carlson's alleged racism. You know how many U.S. presidents were white supremacists? Oh, please. Just stay on topic. Y'all can't do that. The topic is asking questions is okay, but let's make the topic Nicki talks to white racists so y'all can sleep better tonight. Dummies. Nicki, if you want to ask questions of people that are qualified to answer the questions, like the doctor that the White House provided you. Talk to scientists. Talk to people that are medically qualified to explain the vaccine and its risks to you and the risks of getting COVID-19. Just asking questions is not what you were doing. You spread a rumor, and a false one, about the testicle swelling of a cousin's friend. Suddenly, Minaj stopped tweeting and claimed via an Instagram story that she can no longer tweet and she was in Twitter jail because they don't like what I was saying. According to Twitter, this is not the case, and no enforcement action has been taken on Minaj's account. It remains to be seen whether or not Minaj will join the right-wing ecosystem of silent celebrities who remain massively influential, able to cry censorship to millions of fans through Tucker Carlson tonight, a conversation with Ben Shapiro, or perhaps a guest spot on the Joe Rogan Experience. To complete the saga, all we need now is to hear from Minaj's cousin's friend, who is surely wishing that he had kept the state of his testicles to himself. All right, this is what Hasan originally wanted to tweet. I'm telling you, Tucker Carlson wouldn't even let you on the bus unless he can use you as a talking point. But here you are reducing it to simple party disagreements. Okay, that's spicier than I thought it was going to be.
Okay, I won't do it. I don't want to fucking get clapped up.
Hasan will become the focus of Nicki's reps. Oh, he's getting it. He's getting the business.
Don't make it about her being black. Bro, but it's a white supremacist. Like, he's a racist. I don't understand.
I'm a big baby. Hey, Mighty Welsh. So, I kind of agree with chat. I don't like the bus analogy. No, the chat protected Hasan there. That was not a good tweet. That's not a good tweet there. You could have done better than that. It's still your fault the left is collapsing. Mike attacks Bo. The utter collapse of left everywhere. I did it. I attacked Bo of the fifth column, chat. I attacked him. Beau of the Fifth Column was attacked, and that's when it began. He could just say that Tucker doesn't see her as a human with a full set of rights, and that would get the point across. Yes, exactly.
To see someone who's not afraid in America. There's still a few. I guess it's left to a rapper from Queens, but good for her.
Right, it is good for her. And you know what? These are the people, by the way, that when they're running, they go around and they get them to endorse them, right? They go
Rogue Red Raven says, but Mike, my cousin's friend wore a seatbelt and the waist belt cut off flow to his balls. Now he has permanent blue balls.
Around to Cardi B, they go around to Nicki Minaj and they try to get them to speak on behalf of them, and Nicki Minaj is not playing that game with them. And now people are seeing in real time what these elitists actually think of them. Look at the way they spoke down to her. She's stupid. The headlines were insane. You know, the headlines like, she's so dumb, she thinks that it's going to make your testicles fall off. Whatever they said, complete lies, by the way. Denigrating her.
She said that her cousin's friend's testicles exploded and it ruined his life. Okay, excuse me, let me correct myself. She said that her cousin's friend's testicles swelled up so much that his fiance dumped him because of the vaccine. And then pray and do your own research. That's dumb, Candace. That's dumb.
Her because at the end of the day, what they actually think, the Democrats, is that these people are stupid. They like to come around every 4 years for the votes, but at the end of the day, they think Nicki Minaj and all rappers are very stupid. And Nicki Minaj right now is proving them otherwise. She's not afraid.
No, she's definitely not afraid. She's a savage, actually. I'm not on Twitter. It kind of made me want to get on Twitter. It was just so good. So.
12 injured when Trinidad man's testicles exploded on bus. Reports indicate the man was a close friend of Nicki Minaj's cousin. Well, we got to take it back now, Chad.
You could actually, and I'm not, it's not even about whether the vaccine works or it's good for you or her cousin's friend's testicles. It's about whether you have dominion over your own body, whether you're a free person, whether you're a citizen and a human being.
Okay. As much as I wish they would do this, nobody's going around and forcibly vaccinating people. We're not. We need to set up those checkpoints like they have in Halo or Half-Life 2. You arrived at City 17. You have chosen or been chosen. That's what we want. And you go through that and it's just like, but everybody gets vaccine. That's what I would do. But unfortunately, that's not the rule. The rule is, hey, you got to get a vaccine or else you get in trouble. You can't go to the concert. You can't go to the football game. All right? Your job will put you on unpaid leave. You're allowed to not get the vaccine if you so choose. You're just not allowed to go in social spaces with other people. You don't get to impose, you don't get to breathe your COVID breath on other people.
And you got to kind of wonder if people like this standing up might awaken others that, I don't have to be pushed around, actually.
Right. And that's what it really comes down to. This is about body autonomy, no matter what side of the aisle you're on.
By the way, when unarmed people are murdered by the police, the conservative line is comply and nothing will happen. Just comply. It doesn't matter if you weren't committing a crime. It doesn't matter if you're unarmed. If you died, it's because you didn't comply to the order. Oh, you were walking down the street, Elijah McClain, with groceries from the corner store, walking on the sidewalk in your own neighborhood, and then cops killed you and injected you with ketamine against your will, and it caused you to have a heart attack and die? Well, you should have just complied. When Elijah McClain gets murdered because they inject ketamine against his will for the crime of walking down the street while black, well, it's his fault. But if you refuse to get a vaccine during a pandemic, bodily autonomy! I should be allowed to go to any store I want, no matter what those stores' owners say. Those stores' owners' rights don't matter. My rights as a conservative dipshit matter.
I personally believe from the bottom of my heart that more people would get the vaccine if they just had an honest conversation. Right. There's so much gaslighting going on, especially people that have already gotten the vaccine, right?
They both have the vaccine. They both have the vaccine. And the reason why Tucker has it is because he's an elite piece of garbage and he lies through his fucking teeth. And Candace has it because she knows it's a scam. They know it's a scam. They love lying to their dumb audience. They love lying to their audience and profiting and going these dipshits. What a liar, dude. What a weaselly little liar, dude.
People have gotten the vaccine and said, oh, you know, it made my arm itch. And they're going, you're a liar. Like, it's Nicki Minaj. You're a liar. That never happened. How dare you say that? These people.
I love how much they have to lie. How much they have to lie. Nobody would, if you just said, well, the vaccine will make your arm sore and you might feel under the weather for 24 hours, then nobody would have a problem with that message. When you make up a story about someone's balls swelling up so much their fiance dumped them and ruined their marriage or ruined their relationship, that's a different story, you lying piece of God damn it, man. Anyway, let's go
People are on your side, vaccine industry. You're gaslighting people that actually listen to you. Why not just have a meaningful conversation and say, you know what, this might be rare, maybe it did happen, but you're going to be just fine. They won't do that, and that is why people do not trust them at this moment.
Totally true. There are about 8 people in the whole country who are against all vaccines. No one's against vaccines. They just don't want to be lied to or bullied. They do want to prey on it and make their own decisions. Nicki Minaj is right about that. Whatever the condition of her cousin's friend's genitalia.
Totally agree.
I appreciate your coming on tonight. Candace Owens, thank you.
Thank
Candace
you.
Owens is such a f***ing shill. So disgusting. Oh my God. Every time I see Candace Owens, I'm just disgusted.